Well, I actually, for my friend's wedding a few years ago, he actually asked me to be a priest, like
That's
an
it.
acting priest,
Hmm.
uh, on the beach. So my name is Alistair, aka James, aka Ali. Um, a lot of people in Thailand cannot say Alistair, so they either call me Ali or they either call me James, because Alistair is quite difficult to
Is it
pronounce for
common?
them.
Okay, well, what else about yourself? How long have you been in Thailand? What have you been predominantly doing? Who have you been working for? Yeah.
Okay, well, I told you my name. I'm now 31.
Okay.
I arrived in Thailand when I was 22 in October 2010.
9 years. That's a long time.
Well, yeah, 8.5 years,
8.5
give or
years.
take a
Still
few months.
counting
Yeah.
the halves.
Well, yeah, I basically came here because I had just graduated and I wanted a new challenge. I had this job at a telephone directory called Thompson Local
And that was
in my
in,
hometown
yeah,
in
in
Farnborough.
Farnborough.
That was in Farnborough, yeah. And I was there for about 3 months and
Good
I was
experience.
useless at it. I
Got to
was a terrible
call
I just couldn't hit the targets. So I knew that I was going to be not offered the job after the probation periods. And
Mm.
that left me wondering like what I was going to do. So I went into London. I applied for a few jobs at marketing agencies. I didn't get them.
Mm.
And yeah, it left me in a bit of a, you know,
Your confidence
what am
was
I going to
low.
do? Yeah, I was a bit, what am I going to do? Am I going to end up working in a
You've got,
supermarket
you've got a
or
degree,
whatever?
right? You shouldn't
Yeah,
be doing
yeah.
that. You've just got a degree. You've just graduated.
But I had a friend, uh, my friend Steve. I lost contact with him a few years ago, but he also was in a similar situation, just graduated and
Yeah.
needed a challenge. And
Bearing
so
in
he
mind that
said,
this is what, 2010, right?
10. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is after, the economic recession, 2008. It's not an easy time to
Yeah.
get a job either.
Yeah, I graduated in May 2010.
Hmm.
I worked at Thompson Local for 3 months, so until about I got the job in
Yeah,
August, September,
yeah.
and September I left Thompson Local. Basically, I jumped before I was pushed, and the boss said I could even leave a week early if I wanted, and I'd still get full pay. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, okay, I'll do that.
It's kind of,
So I got paid, and we did this TEFL course. We booked, we bought the TEFL course online, five
what
hundred
did you,
pound.
oh, you've done one yourself. Is that how you got your TEFL?
Yeah,
Okay.
10 years ago.
Oh, wow, exactly. So yeah, and that actually gave you a job, right?
Yeah, but I was a bit unsure about its credibility. There were people who went to these, institutions
Hmm.
in brick and mortar schools, and they got theirs from there. And they asked me at the orientation meeting the first time in Bangkok. They were like, "Oh, where'd you get your TEFL?" We
Yeah.
did this like 3-day TEFL experience in Phuket, and it was great. Oh, I did my own. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. It just doesn't sound very credible. It's like those like dodgy open universities where you get those dodgy degrees from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, how do you think you could make it more credible?
well, do brick and mortar school teaching, teaching in
To
a
actually
classroom and
get into a class and
actually
be,
physically be there.
okay.
And actually, with my TEFL course, like it was dodgy from the outset because they had promised, oh, you do this and you get to join this agency in Thailand,
Mm,
and we'll go and collect you from the airport and we'll
mm.
arrange a hotel. Yeah, they did none of that.
Wow. Okay.
They did none
That's
of that.
like,
We got to the airport and we looked for it. We called them.
yeah.
They didn't respond to our emails. Basically, we just got given a certificate um, with like a serial number on it and a what do you call those holographic
Yeah.
stamp things.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It looks somewhat official, but
yeah,
it didn't
you
promise.
don't really know,
Right.
but it's got me through. It's
It
got
got
me through
it got you. It
teaching.
got you
You
an
know,
interview.
well, it got me jobs. Yeah, it helped me get jobs. It helped me get this job at EF as well. But they looked at the degree
Yeah.
side more than the TEFL. The TEFL was just a bonus. But with jobs in Thailand, you need a degree and you need a TEFL. I had a degree. Some
Yeah.
people have good TEFLs but dodgy degrees, and with
Yeah.
me it was the other way around. I had a degree but a dodgy TEFL.
What was your degree
Um,
in?
Video production and film and media studies. It's just a
Okay.
bit random, I know, but
That's a useful skill these days, if you can remember
well,
anything from your.
it I think the skill I got most out of it was the written aspects. You know, writing a dissertation, and writing
Mhm.
coursework. Do a
Yeah.
lot of academic writing, and I guess that helps towards your English, personal English level,
Mhm.
and that's very important when you go out and actually teach English because you know all the grammar rules and you know the tenses. Like before I even went to university, I didn't really know much. You know English, but you don't know how it's made. Like
Mhm.
you don't know what the present perfect is used for, or present past, or anything like that.
You
But
learn that at university, or you learn that in the TEFL course?
you learn that at university, and
Yeah.
you learn it on the TEFL course as well.
Yeah.
And you learn it as you progress through teaching as well. Some of the things you have to teach is grammar.
Yeah.
So you have to learn
Well,
about
I
the
didn't really look at that at all. I mean, I never was I mean, coming from a British education, we weren't really taught English language,
exactly
we taught English literature. Now, or I do agree with you. Like going to university and knowing the structure of writing an essay, that's really good because having a student who wants to do IELTS, they need to know how to write an essay. So quite a transferable skill. Um, so yeah, it's useful to have uh, a degree, right? It's not. Is it necessary?
it's necessary. All schools in Thailand require a degree.
Okay.
A lot of schools are cracking down on that because a lot of people come with fake degrees
Yeah.
that they buy from Khao Roads
Okay.
and other dodgy places like that.
Yeah.
So they really are cracking down. And China as well. China, they've decided recently to only allow teachers with degrees to teach online.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine was affected by that, a Canadian friend of mine, and
Mm.
he had to change online schools. And he was moaning about uh, getting a lower salary and a lower pay rate per hour. And I'm like, well, I've got a degree and I get like less than you. So,
Yeah.
but he teaches like 5-year-olds. I teach like adults. I got paid and we did this TEFL course. We booked, we bought the TEFL course online,
What did
£500.
you? Oh, £500 it was. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
a considerable amount of money for a online TEFL.
yeah, it took about 2 weeks to do. It was spread out and it involved writing like essay. Um, there were essay questions and we had to
Mhm.
write out like 1,000-word answers.
Yeah.
But we completed that.
Do
We
you remember
applied for the agency.
how many essays
Sorry.
did you have to do? How many writing tasks?
Ooh,
A while ago. Yeah.
there were modules.
There
There
were
were modules.
so
So
you got
we were.
feedback. You sent it off, and did you get feedback from those?
I get feedback.
I imagine
I
you.
think it was. I think it was either pass or do it again.
Oh wow, very very simplistic feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Uh,
lot of money. I
I,
mean, not only is it you know, the TEFL course, but they were offering you something else additional with that?
yeah, they were offering like airport pickup, and um they offered us like a job at an agency called
Yeah,
Media Kids. Media Kids were the company that I works for, the
yeah.
agency that I works for the first few years in Thailand.
Was the TEFL done through that company?
I think no,
Remember?
but they had links to Media Kids. I
Yeah.
know that.
So they were not only were they offering you a TEFL, but they were kind of guaranteeing you a job.
Yeah, yeah. They were pointing us in the direction of Media Kids.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and but they when they the extras. I mean, what was the other value? I mean, they were going to pick you up from the airport in Thailand. They
Yeah.
were going to get you a job. Were they going to pay for your flights?
No, no.
No, so there was no flights involved. So
Yeah,
most of it was for the course you were paying for,
yeah,
really, and potential to kind of be recognised in the country when you get there. But you had to kind of set that up yourself.
yeah.
Which is
Basically, we did the TEFL, and we were basically on our own from there.
okay.
But we got in contact with this agency, Media Kids,
You did
and
that separately.
sorry,
You did that separately. You did that.
yes,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
before we get into there, I just want to talk about your TEFL a little bit more, just to understand like what you had to do. Uh,
okay.
you said it was over 2 weeks. So was that like a full time commitment, or did you kind of do that a few hours here and there? Was there?
I You could have done it. I reckon you could have done it in about 3 days, but
Yeah.
I had a bit of time, so I
So
did it over the course of 2 weeks.
normally a TEFL is supposed to be minimum 120 hours. Do you think the
Yeah,
course offered that? Or was
it's
it
hard
more?
to say. It was 9.5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time
um,
ago. Yeah,
yeah.
and it was only 2 weeks of that of your life. Okay, well
I
another.
remember. I remember there being modules,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
every evening, well, not every evening, but most evenings, I just clicked on the module, went
yeah,
through like PowerPoint slides,
yeah,
and I would read through the module, and
hmm,
then they would give us like an essay question, and we'd
yeah,
write the 1,000, 2,000 word essay.
yeah.
And that took a little bit of time to write those.
Okay.
I can't, I'll be honest, I can't remember how long it took exactly to do the
Yeah.
essays.
What did you
Um,
find it useful? Do you remember?
um, Honestly, no.
It didn't help.
uh, I I
What
think
was,
learning from experience is better.
yeah. Did it make you feel a bit more confident, a bit more prepared at least?
It it kind of gave me an idea of what I was getting into,
Yeah.
but reality is very different from expectations.
Hmm.
And uh, I remember my first lesson. I was going through in my head about the modules that I had done, the training that I had done from the orientation at the agency, because they put us through a 3-day orientation
Okay.
periods before they put us
Okay.
in
So
the
this
classroom.
is now when you're in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
this agency kind of gave you an extra day of training too, free of charge.
3 days of orientation,
Okay.
and
So
that was really useful.
okay.
I
So
learned
they,
more from that than I did the whole
right.
TEFL period. But
Right.
I think those TEFLs where you go to Thailand and in Phuket, say for instance, you get like a 120-hour TEFL course in Phuket.
Hmm.
Lots of companies are offering this, and lots of people go with this because, oh, Phuket, tropical island, I get to go on holiday,
Yeah.
I get to do a course. And yeah, they come back, and I met lots of people in that orientation
Yeah.
who had done that course in Phuket, and they said they had an amazing time, made loads of friends,
Hmm.
spent time at the beach, parties, and
Yeah.
yeah, they just spent a few hours a day doing the training, and
they
that
did
was it.
yeah, and they did a whole month, right? They did a full month, paid probably 2 or 3 times the amount of money that you did,
Yeah, yeah,
but probably got more worth than you did.
yeah. Definitely, definitely,
But they did.
definitely.
At the end of the day, you both were in the same position, um, facing a job opportunity, an opportunity there was in front of you, and you did some more training too. So the schools provide, some schools, right, or some agencies are there helping you out.
Yeah,
So,
they did help us a lot.
so it's a cost
Media
effective
Kids
way.
were good.
You know, I mean, it's all great to go to like Phuket, spend 3 weeks, okay, or a month at this thing, right? But then you got to think about accommodation. You're probably going out, eating. You know, your expenses are piling up. You're mounting up. If you imagine somebody's in the UK now, they haven't got a whole lot of money. They're going to buy. They want to buy tickets to go to their dream location. They know they can teach. They've already got a degree. They might not be sure what they want to do in life, but they definitely want to travel
Mm.
and want to make some money abroad. Taking an online one will give you some kind of the fundamentals and a chance into a door, undeniably,
Yeah,
for a lot less money than taking.
I'm I'm not denying the online ones are bad, but
Yeah.
I think that the one I took was very, at the time it was very new. Like,
Yeah.
this was 9.5 years ago.
Mhm.
They didn't have like technology we have today. So maybe online ones could be better because
These days.
maybe they could have like a proper interactive teacher going through with them all the modules and giving out like first-hand experience of what it's actually like in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just reading a set of slides on a computer. I just dug out my certificate, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
worse than I thought.
Can you show it to the camera? Okay.
Basically, I remember I had to go through a long and painful process to ask for this certificate because they didn't initially email it to me. So
Okay.
basically, I get a little serial code, like I said here. It's my
Yeah.
serial codes,
Reference.
and
World TEFL Association.
yeah, and
Okay.
whoever's signature that is, there's not even a name under the signature. It just seems a bit,
Yeah.
dodgy. It
What
just
is it?
says course director.
WTA approved?
It says,
Is that
yeah, a WTA approved organization. Yeah.
World Trade Association? Well, I mean, what is
Yeah.
that?
Well, TEFL was
So it's still got you a job.
TEFL was
That's the amazing thing about it.
yeah, it's got me through all these years,
Yeah.
and it's got
And
me
you definitely
jobs at
did the
different
training.
schools.
This is not, you didn't just print that out or make it yourself. I mean, you actually did take this.
I did take it. I wouldn't go to the effort to make that. But yeah, you can see it can easily be forged. I mean, I had to print this out on a printer.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I had to use like my own card
Yeah. To make it look
uh,
like a
to
certificate.
make it look like a certificate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not even
You,
watermarked or anything or
I mean,
stamps.
if you were going to recommend, I mean, or look into, let's say, starting again with your hindsight, I mean, and you're looking online, you still want to do an online TEFL. What would you kind of look out for this time around?
One that's credible. That's number one. One that's credible.
When you
I
say
mean, back
credible,
then,
what?
I mean, one that has a good reputation and one that is officially recognized by Cambridge TEFL Association, because Cambridge is the big one that you do in a brick and mortar school.
Yeah,
Um, but
they don't
yeah,
have
one that is
online.
recognized
Let's say
by,
you're not near a TEFL school. You haven't got £1,500 to fork out, right? It's an expensive training. Let's be honest. Okay, it's good, but it's an expensive
yeah.
training. Um,
Well, I would. I would look for something that's A, credible,
So
B, I would look
testimonials,
at the review,
yeah,
testimonials, reviews,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The
I
reviews.
look at the price. I look at the price, that's important as
Price,
well.
what kind of pricing range would you think is fair for, you know, a good understanding or grounding? I mean, what to you is a fair price to pay for a course like this online? You can take it when you want. You can review it as many times as you want. Maybe you'll get access to, you know, a Facebook community. Maybe you'll get an hour of one-on-one coaching, let's say.
I well, I paid £500 for that, and I felt like I didn't get any value for money.
Right.
But if I did feel like I did come across one that gave me good value, yeah, £500, maybe 500 to 1,000 would be a good range, you could say,
Hmm.
for something like you described. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Okay. Well, so moving on from your TEFL, you now got a job. What happened next? You went to this agent,
Well,
or you want to say
not
something else about
not a job, but I joined an agency. Yeah.
that? In
First it's
Thailand.
the agency, and then it's the job. Yeah. So I joined the agency called Media Kids.
How did you
We
find
emailed
it?
each other a lot through my well, through this TEFL organization place thingy. Media Kids were one of the companies that they pointed us out towards.
Okay, so
So
from the TEFL certificate, they pointed out
yeah,
the agency. Okay,
yeah,
so that was
there were a list of agencies they recommended.
yeah,
But Media Kids, we contacted them and they said that they'd be happy to take us on with our dodgy TEFL certificates.
yeah,
Um, so me and my friends, me and my friend Steve, we stated we wanted to be in the same area
yeah.
or at best the same school. They
Hmm.
said, no, we can't put you in the same school, but we can put you in the same area, the same town.
Yeah.
And we were quite happy with that.
Hmm.
And they said, yes, come to Bangkok on this date. And I remember it was the 23rd of October 2010. I managed to get I got a flight to Thailand, and I got this certificate months later in December 2010.
What
That's
was
when they actually
so you've been in
gave
Thailand all this time. What was the most exciting or interesting thing you noticed when you got to Thailand?
the first thing that I noticed was when I got off the plane, the heat, uh,
Okay, the warmth.
yeah, the humidity in the air. I wasn't used to it. I was perspirating a lot.
How hot is it
Um,
right now? In
oh, it's very hot. It's about 40 degrees. It's hot season.
oh wow,
So
and it's 10 p.m. at night right there. It's 10, 11 o'clock.
yeah, yeah, it's hot.
It's hot, and that's
Yeah.
obviously something that appeals to you.
Well, I like the sunny weather and the beaches and the opportunity to travel around because it's so cheap to travel anywhere.
Yeah,
What me and my friend Steve did, we got to the little town that we went to. It was a very small town. He taught at like a high school, and I taught at like a secondary school. So I taught like 11 to 18-year olds, and he taught 15 to 18-year olds.
yeah.
Um, but it was a really good experience. At weekends we went to this city called Udon Thani,
So whereabouts were
and
you in Thailand? Could you just specify that?
the northeast,
Oh yeah.
near to the Lao border in the
Is
north.
that a common place where people would go in Thailand?
No,
Not at
no,
all. Did you choose that, or they chose
no.
that for you?
They chose it. I had no idea about Thai. I I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I had
Yeah,
no idea about the culture, the language. They taught us a bit in the orientation. The 3-day orientation was really useful.
yeah.
Um,
When you arrived,
they
this is when you arrived in the
yeah,
airport. Nobody came to pick you
Bangkok.
up. But
Yeah, we nobody came to pick us up, so we had to get our own
yeah,
transport to the hotel.
I'm recording. Sorry, Alistair. Yeah, I told you. You be quiet. I'm recording. That's not being quiet, is it?
You can cut that bit out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll edit it out because you just hear someone come downstairs, start making a cup of tea in the background. Anyway,
You can just cut it out. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Right. So just before we go on too much further, I mean, was there anything else that you found really exciting or interesting about Thailand? The weather
Um,
was pretty.
I enjoyed learning the language because in northeastern Thailand, not many people spoke English,
Cool.
so we had to really adapt. And I remember buying a dictionary
Yeah.
and a notebook, and I used to sit at a bar every night,
Mm.
bar/restaurant, and people would come up and talk to me, and they would ask me, "Oh, I don't see many foreigners here," and
Mm-hmm.
and I would help them learn a bit of English, and they'd help me learn some Thai, and I'd write phrases in my notebook.
That's brilliant.
And after 3 months, I could have a conversation,
Wow, that's
and
incredibly
that
fast.
was that was an achievement. I was really like proud of myself for doing that. But really,
How's your Thai now?
well, I wouldn't say it's on the level of a Thai person, but
Yeah.
I can read and write it,
You
and
can
I can
write it
get
as well,
by.
because that's not easy. It's not using Latin
No,
alphabet. Wow,
it's
I
using
mean, that's really impressive. I mean, do you think you could do? There you go. Can
yeah,
you type on the keyboard? You know how to use all those.
yeah, I know.
That's mad, eh? Do you think you could translate like official documents?
Not official documents, no, because that's formal Thai language. It's like a
Oh,
completely different language
okay,
altogether.
yeah, that's tricky.
I only I
You
only
could
spent time
translate,
learning the spoken dialects. Yeah,
right, but
that's more useful for me.
could you translate from that language to English?
Yeah, if it's spoken language, yeah. If it's
Okay.
formal Thai, then or
E-
royal Thai, then no way.
okay.
It's
Even if it's from a written, it's yeah, okay. You couldn't. I mean, fair enough if you can't do it from English to formal Thai, but can you do formal Thai to English?
I could probably get an idea of what they are talking about, but I probably wouldn't be able to understand everything. Like literally every word is different in formal Thai.
Okay.
Almost every single. It's like learning completely new language.
Um,
So
have
I
you
could translate.
have you done
Yeah,
translation before?
yeah. I've helped out a few people. I've helped out people with police.
Oh,
Um, you know,
you've done
in
like
tourist areas.
live translation.
I've been in the room
Yeah.
and I've helped people
What
translate what they
what
want to
happened
get
with the
across.
police?
And oh, I was basically I had my phone nicked in Khao Road a few years ago,
Oh yeah.
and I went and
Road is
reported it.
that fun backpacker, great,
Yeah,
great,
Khao Road
bit of fun
is the place where you want to go to just
when you're alive.
meet Westerners. If you're sick
Yeah.
of Thais, you go and meet Westerners there
Right.
and have a beer or a bucket. And
But,
yeah, I had
but
my
it is a
phone
bit
nicked.
dodgy. You can get mugged quite easily.
Well, I wasn't mugged. I was pickpocketed.
Okay.
So I just went there to see if I had dropped it, because I probably did drop it, but I just wanted to see if like a good Samaritan had handed it in to the police station on Khao Road.
Yeah.
So I went there and I just reported it. I asked them about it, and while that was going on, there was this ruckus with these like Russian guys, um, and they were saying that like they woke up in the morning and all their possessions had been like robbed. Obviously, they'd taken the girl back, and you know what I mean.
Right.
And yeah, I just helped them get their message across, and the
Is this
Thai
a real
policeman.
girl or like a lady boy? Because they're
I don't know. They they were very vague about it, but
yeah. Okay.
um, the policeman was just trying to tell them how to contact the tourist police.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I think they were kind of agitated by that answer, and I
Mm.
think that knowing,
Yeah, that's very
they're
common. I
just
mean,
trying to.
yeah, you've always got it's a good point to make when you're abroad. you often have police, and then you also have tourist police. So it's weird. It's like the normal police are not actually going to help you. They're going to be like, no, that's not our problem. You have to wait for the tourist police to come, which by that time they've become completely ineffective because whatever has happened is now, the culprit's gone, and they just
Yeah.
come and they want you to fill out a bunch of paperwork and you don't see the point of it. Sometimes it's just not at all effective. Very frustrating. I've had a few experiences myself. Um, of when, oh no, you're a white Westerner, so no, we cannot help you. You have to wait for this certain type of police, and it's very frustrating, especially when you actually do live there and you do have a visa. These things can happen to anyone really, but yeah, their response time is reduced even more so. So
Yeah.
it's important to know that. And usually, sometimes these police stations are not even near, like the tourist police station. It's not even near the tourist area. It's like somewhere else that you have to get a taxi to, in the middle of like the local part of town, which doesn't make any sense, does it? But anyway,
Yeah.
so okay, so brilliant. So you were learning in Udan, I think was the name, wasn't it?
Well, I lived in a place called Sakonakon. That was the province, and I lived in a town called Sawangdendin. That was the first place I lived at
Mm-hmm.
and worked at. And at weekends, we used to go to a place called Udon Thani, and they call that the Bangkok of the North because there's a lot of retirees out there, a lot of foreigners in that kind of area
Yeah.
because it's close to
Retirees,
the
you
Lao
mean
border.
older expats sort of thing, people
Yeah, yeah,
post 60s.
older expats. Yeah,
What's the appeal for them to kind of move out that far away from?
it's near the Lao border. It's easy for them to do a visa run when they need to.
Okay, okay. So there are
So they just,
people that brings on, the question of visas, doesn't it? There are
yeah.
people. How long is a visa? 30 days, right? I think in Thailand.
Yeah, without so the visa exempts is 30 days and then you can get an extension for 60 days, I think. Or is it
And what?
60 days and then 30 days?
So you got this. You working
Something
for
like
this
that.
secondary school? Yeah. So 30 days is like the standard. Everyone knows that that's what happens, right? Most
That's
people,
a tourist, yeah.
when people initially get there, they don't really know what they want to do. They're not working.
Yeah.
They just want to stay there for a little bit. The old trick is you go in and out of the country, and that's called a border hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit inconvenient, but it means that you get to spend 30 days in the place where you love. You're obviously enjoying it because you want to stay there. Later on, you get a job or you marry a local, or there's always some sort of solution to it. You got to find out, speak to a lawyer, basically. How did you go about with your visa? That was all set out for you with the agency?
Oh, it went like clockwork because the agency sorted out all the visa uh, processes.
That's good.
We had to do 90 something called 90-day reports.
Okay.
We would every 90 days we would report in and say, hey, we're still here, we haven't done any crime, we haven't,
Okay. So it's
we're not
quite
on the run
formal
or anything.
economy, isn't it? They're quite organised in Thailand. And
Organized in what way?
that they have these processes in place. Um, my experience is much more so with South America, and in South America, there are no processes whatsoever. It's just go
Well,
here or not. I
if
mean,
you think a mountain of paperwork is organized, I don't know, but well, the visa processes are a bit strange. I mean,
but they get that got you what, a visa for a year?
yeah, I got a visa for a year, but
Yeah,
I only used it for like originally I used it for only like I was only there for like 4.5 months
yeah.
before I went back to the UK,
Oh, okay.
and then I stayed in the UK for a couple of months, and I went straight back to Thailand.
Right.
So
So
to
so hold
complete
on. You
the
you you almost thought about coming back to the UK at that point.
well, I did come back to the UK, yeah,
You
because
did,
that
yeah.
was the original plan. I already had a flight booked.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. So when you'd originally gone out there, you were like, right, I'm going to go for 3.5, 4.5 months, teach a
yeah,
bit in Thailand, have a good time. Then I come back, figure out my life in the UK.
but me and Steve, we went back to the UK in we were just in that limbo land again.
Same
We
thing.
weren't sure of what we wanted to do, and we just had like this amazing experience.
Hmm.
And we both decided that we'd take the easy option and just go back and do the next semester. So we
Yeah,
called up media kids again and said, "Oh yeah, welcome back. You know, we put
yeah.
you.
They received.
Unfortunately, they put us in different schools this time.
Ah,
Steve um, was in a place called Chayapum. We'll get to that. I think you've been there, haven't you? I took you to Chayapum once.
yeah.
I
I think
remember.
it was
Yeah,
in the later days. Yeah. So I came to
and
visit you as
that
well.
was that was when I was in a place called Pak Chong, and you
Yeah.
actually came to visit me in Pak Chong.
Yeah.
Um, that was my second stint in Thailand.
That was
Pak
near
Chong,
that big national park, if I don't remember the name.
Khao Yai. Yeah, Khao
Oh,
Yai means big mountain. Yeah,
that was the one with the waterfalls, was it? We
yeah.
went, because I remember when I was there, one of the most amazing places I've ever visited. Amazing, uh, just fauna, uh, amazing butterflies. I remember the water, the waterfalls. It was the first time I rode a moped as well. The guy was like, "Have you ever ridden one before?" And I was just, "Yeah." I was just very confident of my non-existent ability. Um, and but I was somewhat too a little bit overconfident because I remember trying to. I saw one of the waterfalls, and I thought I'll try and go to the other ones. But you've got to remember there you're at the equator, and the big difference from living in Europe or higher up is that the lights, the sun just goes off like that. There's like dusk and dawn is just really quick,
Yeah, it's the
and
same time every day.
it's always the same time, 6 o'clock till 6 o'clock, more or less.
6:30. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
So I was just driving into this jungle and looking at the time and looking at my fuel consumption and going, hold on a second, I do not want to be in this jungle in the middle of the night. Literally, I'd been driving for a while and going, hold on, this is really, really far, and I've not seen another car in about 20 minutes. I'm going, I am kind of scared. Like, what if there's like a panther or something in this jungle? So I just stopped and I came back, and I was so grateful that I took that decision because I literally was driving in the dark. It was my first day driving on a moped, and in this new country, in the dark, not really knowing which way to go, and I was kind of scared. It was a scary experience, but that was still such a great experience. So where you were teaching was just right next to this amazing reserve, natural reserve. I had a great time. I remember amazing food, right? Pad Thai, uh, cheap DVDs, sitting around, not doing too much.
Yeah.
Great lifestyle, essentially. Um, and then did I come back and see you again, or was that the same time? I can't remember now.
Well,
We went
I
to a
was in
different
Pak
city.
Chong. I was in that Pak Chong school for 2 semesters,
No, I think we
and
went
then
together, didn't we? We went up to
we
that
went
other big town. We went
Chayapum. Yeah,
to
I
Taipei, yeah.
took you.
Which
I
was
took you to Chayapum on the
how
bus.
far
Yeah,
away was that? I don't remember. It was about two bus rides of about 3 hours each, or three or
it
two
was
hours.
about it was about it was about 2 hours from Pak Chong, which is in the province called Korat, to Chayapum. Um,
Yeah.
but all my friends were in Chayapum. All
Okay.
the guys from the orientation, they had
Mm.
the agency Media Kids had the most schools in Chayapum
Mhm.
attached to them. In Pak Chong, they only had one, so I was a bit isolated there.
Right.
So I used to go to Chayapum on a regular basis at weekends,
Okay.
um,
So,
2 hour bus journey, and I ended up getting a job there.
okay.
So
So you wanted to be more around the expats as well, the other
yeah, I mean,
because
it's all good going to bars and sitting on your jack, but and Thai people will come and sit and talk
yeah,
to you, but it's
you
good to
want
have like a someone you can have a proper conversation with
yeah
around you.
yeah and share experiences as a
Yeah,
teacher. Go,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah,
how was your class and what are you doing? And have you got any ideas for this class?
yeah.
Right.
Share ideas and help each other out. Yeah, it's because back then, like social media wasn't as it is now. We all had like these BlackBerry phones, and we all
Mhm.
used to use the same like
Yeah.
BlackBerry messaging app
Amazing,
to.
isn't it? How much it's changed
Yeah,
in just a few years with
we
WhatsApp.
didn't use like Messenger or anything. We
Yeah.
rarely used that.
It's just amazing.
And we'd all go on holidays together.
Mhm.
If there was like a long weekend, we'd all organize like a holiday to the south. I remember we all went to Samui and we all went to Koh Tao.
Mhm.
And it was back then we didn't have much
So
money.
those are the
'Cause
islands in the south, right?
yeah, yeah, we saved money on a flight and we just took buses down there.
Yeah.
We got up very early in the morning and we ended up there at like something like um, how long did it take? We took a bus to Bangkok,
Quite a while, isn't
uh,
it? Saving
and
about.
then we took a Bangkok bus to the islands, straight to the
Yeah.
islands.
And then you got to get a boat as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Surat Thani and then get a boat.
I don't remember it
So
being too much, but was it like it's about 5 to 7 hours from the islands to Bangkok?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Samui. It
Would
depends how far south you go, but
you do this
Samui.
overnight? Like, would you do this on Friday night, finish work?
If
Yeah.
we have a long weekend, yeah, because
Ah,
if you
okay.
do this on a normal weekend, it's not worth it because you only
Not
get
well.
like one day there.
Yeah.
But if you got a long weekend, because some Thai, the good thing about working in Thailand is that there's always like holidays
Mm.
um,
A lot
dotted
of bank
around the school calendar. So a lot of the time we get like 4 or 5 day weekends.
holidays.
So we use this as an opportunity to go to the south if we got 4 or 5 day weekends.
Hmm.
That was a really good opportunity to see Thailand.
Yeah.
One
Take very
place I
nice.
haven't.
You get to travel basically. It's you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
some work-life
It's
balance.
cheap. It's really cheap to travel.
It's cheap, and you've also got these 3 day weekend, 3 4 day weekends where you do
Yeah,
actually have a chance to go out and explore the country. So you're not always working. Like you're not. It's not a
not
traditional
always
9 to 5, absolutely
working.
guaranteed schedule. But you
we
do get
used
these
to
long.
we used to have to do these things called lesson reports
Mm-hmm.
or lesson plans. Sorry, lesson plans, and
That's
we'd have to
before
submit them
class
to the
or
agency.
after.
Sorry.
That's after, like class reports.
No, no, no. Sorry, I mean plans, lesson plans.
Before you
So
teach the class.
yeah, before basically the agency, one of the requirements was that we send them our lesson plans to show that we are actually planning and
Yeah.
doing the work.
And
But
was that not a lot of work to do? Additional work?
it was a bit of additional work. But what I used to what I used to do
Yeah.
is just send the same plan in week out and just change the date.
Oh yeah.
And some people
They basically didn't read it, did they?
basically they just checked that you send it and they wouldn't even open it.
Right.
I had a friend who just send them blank Microsoft Word documents with the title lesson plan June 2013. So
Right.
we had to do it for every month. So every month we had to do 4 weeks worth of lesson plans
Okay.
to send them.
So they
So
were.
we get this, and my friend used to just get a blank Word document,
Yeah.
change the dates, and he just email it to them,
Yeah.
and he'd
So
get a
nobody
reply
was
saying
really
thank you.
checking it. They were
They
checking
never
what you
checked it.
sent, but you never
Yeah.
had anyone ever having it checked.
No one went through it. No one critiqued it.
Yeah.
I did one set of lesson plans and changed the dates every time, and they were happy with that. They
Hmm.
didn't check anything.
That's
It
that's
might
that's a good
it
hack.
might have it might have changed now, but
Yeah.
they might have got more serious about it, cracked
Yeah.
down on it.
Hmm. So you can try it until they catch you out, but you're risking it.
Yeah.
Then again, if
Well,
anyone.
all you get is a slap on the wrist and say, "Hey, do
Right.
it properly." I mean, but
Yeah, you're going to get
some people,
a warning, but they're not going to fire
mm,
you because they need you, right?
yeah.
They'll
I
say, "Oh,
mean,
do it properly," and that's it. why did they tell you that was a necessity? That was for them to kind of, or was it a requirement from the government, do you think? Or
Well, it was part of the agreement.
okay,
Just I
yeah,
guess it's just to make sure that we're,
yeah,
doing the work.
yeah,
We're not messing around in lessons, and
completely
not
winging.
just giving them movies to watch or anything like that,
Yeah,
like some people did.
right.
Some
Not
people
you.
proper winged it.
You weren't
But
you're a superstar teacher, right? You weren't one of those.
sorry.
You weren't one of those giving them just movies.
No, I used to have this plan in my head. I what we'd have is like a curriculum that the Media Kids
Have you?
organization would send us, and I just look at the plan. I'd print off some worksheets. What
Yeah.
I do is I go in, I do a little exercise with them, maybe get them out of their chairs, doing a
Yeah.
little exercise,
Hmm.
and then I do like vocabulary. Then I do like a conversation section, and then at the end I do a game. And usually the game would be like word snake or hangman or something like that.
Yeah. The
Maybe
classics.
bingo. They
Yeah.
loved bingo. They loved bingo.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Sometimes,
vocab words.
yeah. I just put stuff up on the boards,
Yeah.
and I gave them out sheets.
So with the
And
curriculum, did they have a course book as well?
yeah, they had a curriculum.
No, but
Basically, they had a sheet.
yeah.
So the sheet would have um, vocabulary to learn today,
Yeah.
uh, questions of conversation. So, for example, for
But the
like
students, they didn't have a course book. They didn't have like a textbook.
they had one, yeah, they had
Oh,
their
yeah.
own, but some schools didn't give that. So the second school I was at was very good and very they gave them their own books, but
Mhm.
the first school I was at, I had to photocopy everything myself from the curriculum
Okay.
that I had.
Yeah. So they built like kind of created their own course, and you would just copy
Yeah,
everything out and get them
we
handouts.
it wasn't it was a guides, I would
Mm.
say, and
Yeah.
basically I didn't need lesson plan at the beginning. I was so nervous. I had planned my lesson to the T,
Yeah.
but you have to expect, this is Thailand. People are always late.
Hmm.
Uh, people um, don't speak as good English as you had expected. I mean, I had expected them to know like a certain amount of English
Hmm.
when I first arrived here, but they didn't know any, and I didn't know any Thai in the
Hmm.
very beginning. So
Yeah.
that's why I learnt Thai to
Was,
facilitate the
so
learning
yes.
process.
So it was a two-way learning thing, really. I mean, you got
Yeah,
value from that, the experience. I mean, you got to learn. I mean, that's a benefit of being
yeah, big
in
benefit.
an environment. You actually got to learn the local language. You're both figuring it out at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. And the kids loved it when I spoke Thai to them. They felt relieved because
Yeah.
all these like towards after being there for a couple of years, I remember going into a school for the first time and them looking like, oh God, another Farang. By the
Foreign,
way,
foreigner, right?
Farang is a foreigner, yeah, who doesn't speak our language. We don't understand him, and then I start. I just said to them hello, and I introduced myself in Thai, and then I introduced myself in English, and everyone's just looking at me like,
Yeah.
"Wow, I
Yeah.
can understand him.
Yeah.
He gets me."
So
You
do you
know?
think that's a benefit to have?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
teaching the locals, it always helps to have a bit of their language. Is it a bit of
It
a
it's used to facilitate the learning process and the
yeah?
teaching process.
So do you
You
think
can't just
yeah?
you can't just go into a classroom. It's like me going to like China and
And just
going to a class of kids in a very poor government
right,
school where
right.
they don't have very good
Mm,
lots of money. This is the situation I was in. The
mhm.
kids don't have money, the
Yeah.
parents didn't have a good education,
Mhm.
so they don't speak a word of English. They know hello,
Yeah.
that's it,
This
hello.
is public schools, by the way, right?
These are public government schools, yeah, it's
So,
government
so,
funded
so what about though? Let's
state
say,
schools.
right? Okay. So yeah, obviously having a bit of the their L1, their first language, helps a lot to facilitate the class, right?
Yes,
Right, that's true. But
yes,
a lot of TEFLs kind of preach that everything should be in English. It's an immersion. That's the
yeah.
best way to learn a language, through
It's
immersion.
not. It's not
Okay, well, what's your philosophy on that then? Why not? Why isn't it the best way?
because you just stood there like a clown
Yeah,
speaking gobbledygook to them. They,
yeah,
if you want to issue an instruction, then they
mm,
need to understand that, and they need
yeah.
to. You're not. The class is about. You could do a class on instructions, but then you have to really make a huge effort to try and show them what each individual message means.
Well, you
And
could do that as a first. I mean, we're obviously talking about very basic classes here, like
yeah, very, very basic English, yeah.
I mean,
But
that is kind
even
of the first class, right? Is it not? It's teach them the instructions of what they're going to hear, the instructions they're going to hear. If you're speaking gobbledygook, isn't that because you're probably it's too much TTT on your half?
teacher talk time.
Yeah.
No, I think basically
Look, I
I
get what
was,
you're saying. I totally agree with what
yeah,
you're saying, but I'm just saying, aren't there ways around it? I mean, put yourself right. You're in London, yeah. You're teaching a class in London, but you've got a Chinese person, you've got a Turkish person, an Arabic speaker, a Mandarin speaker, you've got an African speaker, you've got a Spanish speaker. You can't use their language to facilitate the class, right? So it's a bit
yeah.
different. We're lucky in that sense that
Obviously, if I was in that situation, then yeah, I would have gone with that method of
yeah,
trying to, teach them instructions by showing. And
yeah,
but at the end of the day, I found that the kids responded better to me if
hmm,
I helped them out using Thai language.
yeah, okay,
If I just use English, the kids would not show up.
yeah,
They would play on. They would, you know, play around on their desk
yeah,
or talk when I'm talking.
yeah,
If I talked in Thai, they would all listen to me. They would all just pay attention
yeah,
because they're like, "Wow, this guy,
yeah,
he can speak Thai."
yeah.
If I just speak English to them,
A
a lot of
Ferrari
them won't.
tie. It's quite
Yeah,
inspirational. It's motivational in a way, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And I said, I learned this in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you can,
You
if
can
I
too.
did this, then you can do it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So
And
let me put it to you. Do you think Thai people can teach English?
yes, I think that they can to
There's
Thai
a lot
people.
of
Yes.
I mean, I see it on the internet these days. A lot of people are like, can't get a job. I'm not a native speaker. I can't get a job. Basically, taking the TEFL, but I'm non-native. There's kind of this prejudice against non-natives teaching English. Schools only want native teachers, especially online schools these days.
Well, there are certain things that natives possess over non-natives. Like we know more idioms,
Yes.
expressions. We have the accents.
Mm-hmm.
We know more about the cultural side to a language because
Mm-hmm.
all languages have cultural
The deeper
identity.
culture.
Yeah, I mean, Thai language. Thailand is a collect. For example, Thailand is a collective culture. They do things in groups,
Mm-hmm.
and the pronoun I can also mean we.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by the cultural side of the language. And they need to really, I mean, native speakers are better, but I think a native speaker must know a bit of their language as well as a bonus. But if they already know the language quite well, then it's not needed. But I'm talking about very, very beginner levels,
Yeah.
what I was talking about before, L1 basically.
So,
But
native, non-native as teachers, is a Thai person could teach at least the lower levels of English. You're not going to really face
yeah,
cross
I
idiom.
mean they can teach. I mean, when I was in a place called
A1,
Khon Ken,
A2, basic English.
um, yeah, when I was in a place called Khon Ken, I was the only native speaker in one of the schools there that I
Yeah.
worked at.
Hmm.
The rest were Italian.
Oh,
There
okay.
was a Serbian guy. There was a French guy, and the Italian guy was 70 years old,
Wow.
and
So
he spoke with a huge accent, a really strong accent,
yeah,
and he couldn't. His grammar was poor, but he was teaching vocabulary to kindergarteners.
right.
He was saying like dog, cat, mouse, bear. You know, he
Yeah.
that's all they need to know, really.
That's amazing. I mean, amazing that age you can teach at such a late stage in your life.
Yeah, but the retirement, there's also like a they look down on people of certain age. The retirement age here in Thailand is 60, and
Oh.
some people get jobs over the age of 60, like this guy Lorenzo,
Hmm.
um, but only if they're desperate. And this school was absolutely desperate. Their
Right.
salary was terrible, and I left there after one term because of the really bad salary. And yeah,
Money is important.
but older men, like older people, will find it more difficult to get jobs than younger people,
Yeah.
despite them having tons of experience.
Yeah.
They'll always choose the younger, fresher,
It's the,
better looking person over the older
why
person,
better looking? Why do you say better looking?
because looks are everything in Thailand. You
Oh,
won't get anywhere if you're ugly.
okay. So
That's the truth.
they're part of their deep culture is image is really
Yeah,
important. Not
you
like in the
see,
UK, because in the UK, image is not quite seen as important. People go
mm,
out in any sort of clothes. You see sales assistants in the street, and they're not particularly the best looking person. They're kind of offering some sort of value, some sort of education. But it's the same thing in South America. Everything is kind of goes in through the eyes. If you're selling a product, you need to have a beautiful woman doing it. Otherwise, it won't sell.
yeah,
Um,
but
and
also
mhm,
um, they they wanted people who can interact with the kids and have fun with the kids,
yeah, so it's energy
and
levels.
energy levels are important.
Yeah,
And old people, they see them as just sitting there and at their desk
yeah,
and giving them written work to do, and it's not about written work.
yeah,
These classes are conversational.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
about getting them up out of their seats
yeah.
and interacting with them and
Playing games,
get,
having fun,
playing
basically.
games. Yeah, making
Nothing
it
too dry, right?
into
Everyone
a
wants
fun process.
exactly, yeah.
That's
High
what English camps are for. English camps. Do you
merch.
know about English camps? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what people just do fun activities, games, kind of do outdoor
Well,
stuff and learn English.
yeah.
It's all incorporated.
Once or twice a semester, I think it was two times, we were obliged to do two English camps per semester.
All right, it's part of your
So
contract.
yeah, on a weekend, we would go to a place like a farm or a resort, or maybe even sometimes at the school. And yeah, we would spend the whole day doing activities with them, get them into teams, get them doing all these games and getting them running around
Yeah,
and just speaking English. You know, even if it's just a few words, at least they spoke a bit of English, and
yeah,
that they loved English camp. Yeah, it was a really
a lot of
big
fun.
thing for them.
Good
Yeah, a
fun
lot
for
of
you
fun.
as a teacher as well.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
Something
Yeah,
outside of the classroom, something a bit different.
gets you out. It gets you out, and but I
So,
went out every weekend anyway, so I
right,
don't now, so, but I used to.
right, right. Yeah, you're in your 30s now, so times are changing. So,
Yeah, and I've
and
got a
speaking of
daughter,
times
so
changing, you now are you're not teaching at a school anymore, if I'm right.
no, my last position was at a university,
Yeah.
and um, I I left. I think I was just unlucky at the university I worked at because the head of the department was very overbearing
Hmm.
and abrasive, and I worked there for uh, I think I worked there for a year and a half
Yeah.
before I decided to give up and go into the world of online teaching. The money just wasn't enough anyway, and online teaching just pays a lot better,
Yeah.
and it's good, but you know I do miss being out and about and being interactive. And I went to my daughter's school this morning, and
Mm.
I walked around it, and it brought back a lot of memories
Yeah.
of me, because it reminded me of all these schools I had worked at before. It had basically all Thai schools are structured the same. They all are so similar to each other,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's a Catholic school or Buddhist or public or private. They're so similar, and it just brought back memories. And I thought, I do miss this. Just walking in, right? I had my daughter in my arms that time, and I went in as a parent instead of a teacher,
Yeah.
and it's different. It's a weird feeling getting that. You're on the other side of the barrier now. You're
Yeah.
the parent, and you're judging the teachers.
Right.
I looked in my daughter's classroom, and I looked at the Filipino teacher in there,
Oh yeah.
and I thought, how is her English? Is her English good? I had to
Yeah.
listen, and I thought, I wonder if people did this to me when I was at schools like this.
Right. Right.
But I really do miss that experience. Just
Mostly because of the social aspect of it. The
yeah, yeah.
it's more
The kids were
fulfilling.
great. The kids were
You,
great. I didn't have. I I worked at. In the end, I've worked overall. I worked at 6 different institutions.
yeah.
So I worked at first one was in Sarang Din. Then I went to Pak Chong. So those were 2 secondary schools.
Yeah.
I went to Chai Poon, worked in a primary school. Then I went to Khon Ken. I worked in a primary school there.
Yeah. So it's a lot of
Then
young kids, very young. And now online, now you're teaching kids too,
no adults.
mostly adults. So
Yeah.
how you compare children to adults when when teaching? I mean, are they easier?
Well,
I mean, I think they're easier, right? I mean, teaching
I
adults,
just
they're more engaged, they want to learn.
I just have conversations with the adults, and then I just say, hey, this is where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
This is room for like an area of improvement for you, and then yeah, just keep practicing and continue up the good
You,
work and
you're
just
just
keep doing the
talking to you're
classes.
just talking to adults. That's basically what you do.
Yeah, I'm just talking to them, sitting down and having a conversation with them like
So
this.
you're
It's
not
nothing
planning
like
your classes anymore. You're not
no,
having.
I'm not planning ahead.
You
I
do
just
one
go
on
in
one.
there and do one-on-one. Yeah,
It's just
just
one
go
on
in
one.
there and I talk to them. Yeah, if it's a
And
Japanese person, I'll dress up. I'll wear a suit. But if it's any
right.
other person, most of them are from Brazil,
Yeah.
so I just wear a t-shirt and I just talk to them like I'm their friend, and they
That's,
like that.
that's funny you say that. I mean, about the cultural difference. I mean, why would you put a suit on if there's a Japanese person?
Because people in Asia, like I said before, they look at image
Right.
first before
Okay.
anything else,
Right. Right.
and they see this like they look at teachers as a very in Asia, teachers are regarded as like
High
up
level
there with
professionals.
gods.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you
That's a
have
good,
to look the part.
that's a good point to make. You know, the way you're going to be regarded when you're out there as a teacher, people put you on a pedestal. They're like, oh, you're a teacher. You instantly get respect from the
Yeah.
community. It's a nice.
Well, you get respect, but you don't get respect like the Thai teachers do. They get more respect,
Right,
but
right, right.
the kids are
Get
still
around.
nice to you. They some kids will why like that. They'll why to you when they see you,
Yeah.
and you're meant to do this back. But I didn't care, to be honest. I honestly, some kids just said hello, and I was
Right.
happy with that. Some
Yeah.
kids just said good morning. I was happy with that. Sometimes I'd walk past a teacher, I'd wave to them, and she'd see some kids wave to her, but not wave to me. Then she'd stop and force the kids to wave to me, and I was like, by the way, whying is doing this, like
Mm-hmm.
putting your hands together and like
Together.
showing like a
Mm-hmm.
sign of respect. Yeah.
It's like
So
like a handshake
sometimes,
in the Western world.
yeah, well, it's just a show of respect. Like
Yeah.
you're my teacher, so I should worship you like this. But yeah, sometimes the teacher would just tell the kids off for not whying me, and I'm like, really, I don't care, to be honest. It's not my culture. I'm just happy with them
Mm-hmm.
smiling and waving or
So
saying hello, good
online,
morning.
you're getting past. I mean, you're teaching Brazilians; they're very laid back. Who
Yeah,
are you working for exactly?
a company called EF,
And
English
overall,
First.
how would you recommend them to other people to work with? Are you happy with the way they organize? How long have you been working with them for now?
Uh, about 2.5 years.
Well, that's a long time. Have they rewarded you for working with them for so long?
Yeah, you get a boost in income per hour
Okay.
every year.
Do you get any
So
benefits with working for an online school? No, no, no
no,
such benefits. Would you get
uh,
benefits working for a normal school, like a brick and mortar one?
yes, yes, you get a work permit, and work permits would get you a car, would get you a mortgage,
What are you doing now
would
for
get
your
you a
work, your
credit
visa?
card. Sorry?
What are you doing now? Are you border hopping?
Yeah, I'm on a non-O visa thanks to Alanis.
Ah, so
So
for your daughter, right?
yeah, I'm on like a father visa.
Oh, that's
So
that's good. That's good.
I'm on a
You want
I'm
to
on a
stay in
non
Thailand, have a kid. Easy as that. Would you
but I
recommend
have to
doing
leave.
that?
I'd recommend getting married. It's easier. But
Right. Okay. Even with the divorce, if it doesn't work out, I suppose
yeah,
you can't get rid of a child, can you?
no, no.
No.
But I have to leave the country every 3 months. But I
Agreed.
think I think it's
What?
a really good opportunity. It just gets me out.
Right.
I'm because I'm stuck in this office all day,
Yeah. That's
and
that's the negative of working online.
it's really isolating, and
How come you haven't
it
stayed in touch with like your mate Steve? Do you know what's happened to him? Is there still
oh
a that community or what?
he went back to England about 4 years ago. He
Okay.
only stayed in Thailand for 4 years.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he's
Uh,
he's made the
all,
trip back.
all the people from my orientation, I only know one guy,
hmm
Anthony,
hmm
from my orientation, who is
Yeah.
still here.
Quite a unique case you are. So you have to leave. Do you just go to Lao or what? Are you going to or
Um,
you
I
don't
basically
stay
what
out
the
for a
visa
while?
I have, the visa I have is
Yeah.
a non-O visa, so that's a visa based on family.
Yes.
So I every year I go to Vietnam once a year. I go to Vietnam
Mm.
and I buy this visa, and this gives me a 1 year multiple entry visa.
Oh yeah.
So
To
it's
Thailand.
valid for a year. Yeah, valid for a year, but I have to leave every 3 months
Yeah.
because it's multiple entry
Yeah.
to get the most out of it.
hmm
So after a year's gone up, I extend it. I get a visa extension.
How much
That's
is
for
that?
another
How much is that visa?
about dollars. It's about $200.
It's not cheap, cheap, but okay.
That's US dollars, yeah.
Yeah.
And I paid in US dollars as well.
Yeah.
They take only US dollars at the Vietnamese at the Thai embassy in
You like
Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Sorry.
You like Vietnam?
Yeah, I might be going there in a few weeks. My next visa run is in a few weeks' time, but
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of going to Malaysia.
Oh, okay. So
I'm
different.
yeah, I think I might go to the Sepang circuit,
Mm.
the F1s,
Oh
well,
no.
the MotoGP circuit there,
Oh yeah.
and do a tour and do some go karting.
That sounds awesome.
Uh, I got a neighbor called Alex from New Zealand, and he's in a similar situation to me.
We might go
So
together.
he's yeah, you might go with him, and we might
Nice.
go check out. We actually went to Kuala Lumpur last year, but
Yeah.
it was we were only there for one night, and we really didn't get to do that much. But it's great because
Plenty of
what I
opportunity
mean
to
is
travel. Yeah.
you can travel around, and
Yeah.
I've been to. Initially, I went to Laos to do a visa run, but now I go to Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore.
Yeah. Bit of
Um,
everything. So, so,
yeah, yeah.
so what would you, if there's any advice to anyone out, who's looking to maybe go to Thailand, live out there, do what you've kind of something you similar that you've done. Have you got maybe top three pieces of advice that you might want to spread the word, share a bit of wisdom? out into the world?
What if they were coming to teach in Thailand? Yeah,
Yeah,
if
either
they
if
wanted
they're
to
gonna, if it doesn't really have to be too locally, you know, it could just be about teaching. I don't mind. Any sort of advice, maybe it doesn't have to be three pieces of advice. It could just be one piece of advice if you've got anything off the top of your head.
Okay, well, specific to Thailand,
Yeah.
if you are going to get a job, then make sure you're paid a decent wage.
Which is
Um,
what is a decent wage?
well, if you're in the provinces outside of Bangkok, you want to be earning at least 35,000 baht. I would say that's the minimum that you want to be earning.
What's that more or less in dollars, US dollars?
About $900.
Okay.
Let me
Okay. Per
just
month.
I let me just check. Uh, baht to dollars. So yeah, 35. Sorry, I was wrong. It's about $1,000. Yeah, a
Okay.
thousand to a
Not
thousand
far
one
off.
hundred dollars.
Yeah, and if you're in the metropolitan area, city,
Yeah, yeah. You want to be earning about $1,400.
okay, brilliant.
So
Okay,
you want to
that's one.
follow
That's
that.
getting paid well.
Yeah, you don't want to be used and abused and ripped off. You know, you don't want to be mugged off by schools that make you do tons of work and you get little back for it. So
You
you
mean
want to
like
get a good
paperwork as
salary.
well,
Well, yeah, there's lots
or
of
hours.
duties you have to do as a foreigner. There's lots of duties you have to do.
Mm.
Like for example, at the university I was at, I was only teaching there 3 days a week. 2 days a week I didn't have any classes, but I was still required to be there because I had to show my white face and pointy nose for any
Mm.
visitors. They wanted to show off that they had, white teachers who could speak English. So
Mm.
every time we had a visitor, I had to go and introduce myself and talk to them and show that I'm a native speaker.
Okay, wow.
So,
We're using you as a sales tool.
well, yeah, like I said, image is everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
had to be there on the days we weren't teaching. With schools,
yeah.
we had to do something called gate duty.
Oh,
So we take
don't know those.
turns. The
Go
foreign
on.
teacher would take turns to stand by the gate and
Yeah,
greet the students as they're
yeah,
coming in.
yeah.
Again, they want they want to show the parents
Hmm.
that they're dropping off their kids, that they have white teachers at the school.
Yeah.
So we had to stand there in the heat in the morning.
Wow.
Um, those are some of the duties you have to do
Mhm.
as a foreign teacher, and you
Okay,
have
so
to
what
be
was
there
the
all
first
day.
one? The first was make sure you're getting a decent salary. You've described
Yeah,
what is a decent salary. Great.
yeah,
Anything else?
and second is expect the unexpected,
Expect the unexpected.
because
Mm-hmm.
if you expect something to happen in Thailand, it's likely not to happen. I'll give you an example. Um, first day I went in to teach my first ever class,
Yeah.
I had done so much preparation. I was super nervous. I went and sat down in my classroom and waited and waited and waited,
Yeah.
and they didn't show.
Mm.
And I went down to the staff room and asked the teachers, and they said, "Oh, they don't have class this morning."
Ah.
And I'm like, so you
Mm.
have to expect to find out things yourself, because Thai teachers will not tell you anything.
Right.
You have to find out. So before you start a job,
Just.
try and find a schedule for all the holidays. I actually went into school one day, my first school. I went in and it was closed, and I was like, "What?" And then I found out that it was a holiday,
Oh yeah.
and I was just really pissed off that nobody told me.
So yeah,
So
communication. You've got to do the communicating. You've got to be proactive in
yeah,
finding things out, essentially,
you
because
you,
people aren't
you
going to come
can't
to you.
just sit there and
Yeah.
expect to be told everything. You have
Yeah.
to ask for a
Yeah.
calendar with all the school
And
events,
sometimes
with all the
expect the
school
unexpected.
activities.
You don't know
Yeah,
what's going to
and
happen. It's
yeah,
not like living at home. It's not things that aren't quite so orderly.
exactly.
A to B to C to D. It's like A to C to F to G to Z
So
to A.
make sure you ask the teachers for like a timetable or a calendar,
Yeah,
anything that gives you all the dates of all the holidays
yeah,
or any activities that students will do that will make them miss class,
yeah,
or activities you have to participate in, such as sports days or English camps. So you have to prepare for that. And
yeah. Anything
yeah,
else?
yeah, be careful on the roads. Always wear a helmet,
The
because Thai
driving.
drivers, yeah, you'll likely get issued a motorcycle. By motorcycle, I mean mopeds.
Mm-hmm.
They're very easy to drive, very simple, but you have to be really, really careful on the
Yeah,
roads.
yeah,
Always wear a helmet. Um, Helmet saved my life once.
yeah.
So I
You had a bit of
can,
an accident. Yeah.
yeah,
You
I've
still
been in 2 accidents actually,
do
but
well, you're here to tell the story, so that's good.
yeah, and
Anything else?
um, uh,
All right. Well,
just
what about if somebody listens to this, is thinking about going to Thailand, wants to know maybe more about you, your story, wants to connect in any way, form. You know, what would be the best way to reach out to you? Do you have a LinkedIn or a Facebook, or do you have an email address? Something like
uh, I'm happy to, if they want to email me, I'm happy to give them my email. So
that. Do you want
I'll
to
be happy to.
do you want to say the email now so that if they're listening to this, they'll be able to.
Let me just, yeah, it's Ali James. So those are the names I'm known as in Thailand. So Ali, Ali,
Yeah,
then James. So ALIJAMES,
yeah,
James. Then it's Riley, REILLY. So Ali James Riley, all in one words,
yeah.
at gmail.com.
Easy peasy. All right, well that's great. You never know, someone might just get in contact. They might be like, so you're currently based in Bangkok, right?
Yeah, just on the outskirts of Bangkok. Yeah.
So they can shoot you an email if they need some maybe piece of a bit of advice, or would like to know anything more about living or working in Thailand, or maybe even about
Yeah,
working for EF, because you might be able to refer them uh,
of course. Yeah,
and
I'm
get
happy to do that.
get some yeah. So I think that's pretty much a wrap for today. It was very interesting hearing your story, Ali James. I think there's a lot of really interesting points in there. I think a lot people are really committed to making a move, especially to Thailand. This is going to be something I think that it would be really valuable for them to kind of listen to your experience, and maybe have them feel a bit more settled, a bit more comfortable about making that decision to move abroad. For you, do you regret it?
Uh, no, I don't
No,
regret it.
you're still happy. It's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
still here. So,
Still here. What I was going to say, one more thing. I mean, what do you think you've learned from this whole experience?
uh, um, well, I learned that I'm more confident than I thought I was.
Yeah,
Um, it it boosts your ego because you go there if you're only like 20 years old, 22
mm,
years old, and you've just graduated and you're not sure what to do. This is a great confidence booster for your character and your ego.
yeah,
Because if you go to a place in northeast Thailand where there aren't any foreigners, you'll get treated like you're like Brad Pitt, basically, if you're young and good looking.
yeah.
And it, it, it will really increase your confidence. And
That's
I've
good.
done things like I never thought I would be able to do. I've done
Yeah,
seminars,
yeah,
I've done teacher training,
yeah.
I've done presentations in front of school directors for like a province. I've done all kinds of things,
You were even a priest, I hear once.
Yeah, but that's not related to being part of any
But that's kind of
education.
the out kind of there. You could never have, thought
Yeah.
about. Just for reference, you were a stand-in priest because there wasn't one
Yes.
available, so you had to
Yes.
do this little sermon. So that those kind
Yeah.
of little things, just you can't really ever imagine happening to you. They do
It
actually happen.
wouldn't happen in England. In
It wouldn't happen
England,
in the UK, yeah.
if
But
I
it's
was in the
totally
UK,
unexpected. Hmm.
if I was in the UK still, I'd be shy, I would be withdrawn, I'd be
Yeah,
introverted.
yeah,
And Thailand really gets you out of your shell
that's fantastic.
and it
Hmm.
gives you a new lease of life.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I'm still here, because I'm worried that I'm just going to turn into that person again when I go back to the UK.
Right. Yeah.
But
A bit stale. A bit. Well, it's certainly a different world here. Different mentality. Different culture. A lot of
yeah,
opportunity out there. A lot of opportunity here, but you've really got to kind of look for it. It's a lot tougher, I think. It doesn't really quite come to you so much. I mean, one of the old sayings: if you want opportunity, you've got to go out and seek it. So by being out there, you're doing that. You're actually putting yourself in a situation where you are kind of the outsider, so you kind of get picked up to do these kind of things. I suppose, as opposed to being kind of quite normal and very much the kind of white sheep. If you're out there, you're the black sheep, so you get kind of called out a lot more to do these kind of things. So
exactly.
brilliant! Thank you very much for your time. You want to say goodbye?
Okay, well, goodbye everyone, and good luck with your travels. If you decide to come to Thailand, it's a great destination. Um, by all means, do it. I can't recommend it more. It's a great
Fantastic,
experience, great
brilliant,
life experience.
excellent, cool. Until the next time, and cut.